Hello you highly desirable person you, and welcome to another episode of Techspert Weekly, the only weekly tech news show that's less well planned than a Boris Johnson speech about Peppa Pigland. So this week could somewhat accurately be labelled Leaky Week, and not because I've had to pull on the adult diapers again, but rather because lots of upcoming smartphones have been spoiled to buggery on Tinternets. So this week we're going to pull on our tech specs and have a good old squint at Samsung's upcoming Galaxy A73 5G and the Realme GT Pro 2. And because you all obviously adored my MediaTek coverage a couple of weeks back, this week we've got some more hot chipset chat for you fine folk at home, this time aimed at Qualcomm's massive Snapdragon Summit over in Hawaii. And occasionally my cat will pop up just to make some noise and generally disrupt things, and you'd think I'd probably do a second take, but f*** that. So anyway, let's crack on. Jingle me. Techspert Weekly. So as I literally just mentioned in that not entirely awful intro bit, this week's big tech event was the annual Snapdragon Summit, which was once again held in Maui. Now you may think sodden journalists getting a free trip to a sun-kissed Hawaiian island in December with as much free booze as you can physically pour down your throat. What a bunch of pampered, limp-wristed tosspots. And to be fair, you'd be perfectly right. I've been on that trip 3 times now, and it's pretty bloody great. Although bear in mind that you do also spend several hours a day slumped in a dark room listening to microprocessor deep dives while staring at a picture of a beach on a big screen. And meanwhile, there's an actual real-life beach just 100 yards in that direction, just screaming out for my ghostly pale carcass to be rolling around on those golden sands and flailing majestically in the crystal clear waters. But anyways, the sexiest news out of the Snapdragon Summit 2021 was the launch of the fresh and arousingly titled Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset. A 4nm ARM v9 platform that you can expect to see stuffed inside some of the biggest, most premium smartphones next year, and a big rival to that Dimensity 9000. Hold on to your pants, cause here comes the science bit. Now apparently the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is 20% more powerful than the Snapdragon 888, woof, and 30% more power efficient, helped along by the smaller form factor. Likewise, the GPU is 30% more capable while being 25% more power efficient, and this supports real-time 10-bit HDR graphics rendering for a desktop-style experience, as well as 144Hz refresh displays with the ability to once again update the GPU drivers as time goes on. And you've also got twice the tensor accelerator performance for all of your neural net shenanigans with the 7th Gen AI engine. Very fancy. The 8 Gen 1 platform also packs in that new Snapdragon Sight ISP for all of your camera play, and this supports up to 240 frames per second photo capture at 12 megapixel resolution. You could also shoot 8K video with HDR support at 30 FPS if you want to utterly destroy your phone's storage, or 4K video with real-time bokeh action with the option to replace the background with wacky shit, which Samsung I guarantee will be all over like a racist troll on the Daily Mail comment section. And that's just some of the main points of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 as revealed by Qualcomm at the summit. Lots of other fancy pants stuff as well, including Bluetooth low energy audio support, so if you've got a low energy headset that'll use less power. You've got even faster 5G connectivity now, and lots of other clever bollocks, and you should expect that chipset to start popping up in flagship smartphones from early 2022. This week also saw some more leaky action featuring the upcoming Samsung Galaxy A73 5G, the biggest and most premium of the A-series smartphones so far. These snazzy renders show a familiar design housing a 6.7-inch AMOLED screen with Full HD Plus resolution and 120Hz refresh. Although no, sadly there's bugger all headphone jack action here, which is more arse than that Nicki Minaj Anaconda video. Various internet rumours reckon the Galaxy A73 5G will serve up a 108 megapixel primary camera sensor and a 5000 mAh battery, and it's safe to say that there's a 5G modem in there too, although we don't know which chipset will be powering proceedings just yet. Will most likely be one of the Snapdragon 700 series platforms though, and you can expect the Galaxy A73 5G to launch in early 2022. These past few days also saw the Realme GT 2 Pro gush onto the interwebs in the form of renders and leaked specs, courtesy of good old OnLeaks. This fresh flagship phone should be one of the first to come packing Qualcomm's Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, backed by 12 gigs of RAM, while the 6.8-inch 120Hz OLED screen already has my eyeballs salivating. Or maybe they're just watering at the thought of the 125 watts fast charge support for that 5000 mAh battery. Camera tech will apparently consist of a 50 megapixel primary sensor and a 50 megapixel ultra-wide angle shooter, and then most likely one of them bloody macro lenses too, arranged right across the arse end in a similar fashion to the Pixel 6 phones. And the quoted cost is $800 US, so you can basically expect that to be translated into around 750 to 800 Great British pounds. So yeah, that's going to be just as expensive as the likes of Samsung's upcoming Galaxy S22 flagship phone, but you know, it's got the hardware to really stick it to the likes of the S22, so fingers crossed it is a solid smartphone when it does emerge. And also this week, sexy tech bod Jack Dorsey is stepping down as CEO of the shouty rage hole known as Twitter, to be replaced instead with Titavillis, the patron demon of scribes who forces otherwise well-witted humans to write things that they didn't mean to write before collecting their faux pas in his massive sack. Oh no wait, that's not right. Jack's actually been replaced with the current Twitter CTO, Parag Agrawal. Who actually gives a shiny shit about any of this? Well, probably just the Twitter shareholders, actually, because the value apparently rose 11% when Jack announced that he was buggering off out of it. So best of luck, Jack, in all your future billionaire escapades. Hope that all goes well for you. And now that's about as much newsy shenanigans as my heart can handle, so it's time for the part of the show that would have Titavillis' sack positively overflowing. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments. Well, let's naturally start this week with sweaty guy Steve. Hope that's all under control, mate. Who says, I was foolish to wish that Sony phones would be in stock anywhere, let alone get a Black Friday discount on them. Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, I thought certainly the Gen 2 stuff, the Mark II stuff rather, would be, you know, massively discounted by now, considering the Mark III has been out for a while. But yeah, it's really annoying. The Xperia 1 Mark II, the Xperia 5 Mark II, if you can't find them, they are still really bloody expensive, just as expensive as they were when they first arrived. Some people did actually have some success with Black Friday though. So AJHD said, got the Pixel 6 for 369 quid from Vodafone. I mean, oof. You basically win Black Friday. Well done, mate. I don't know if you had to give Mr. Vodafone a hand shandy in his office in order to get a deal that good, but that is fucking solid. Next up, Jonathan says, stopped the video briefly while I went onto Amazon to pick up the Jura whiskey deal. Yeah, good shout, mate. I mean, if I didn't already have a cupboard full of booze back there to see me through probably the next 2 winters, then I probably would have done exactly the same, leapt on. I got a few boxes, although I probably should have stocked up just in case we all plunged into yet another lockdown special, which is looking increasingly likely. Steve LBMK said, saw a great BF deal on an Olight Baton 3 torch with charging case for 70 quid, saving £30. Do I need another torch? No. Did I buy one? Yes, I did. Hang on, 70 quid for a torch? For a torch? Is this imbued with some sort of magical properties or something? Does it literally open up a portal to an alternative universe where it rains beer and farts smell like strawberry licorice? And it's normally 100 quid as well. That's, I mean, yeah, that blows my mind. It must be a very, very good torch. Wrath OX says, I love when Santa empties his sack. Yeah, I mean, according to Wikipedia, his special sauce tastes just like cinnamon icing sugar. Quoted source, your mum. Roman says, you're the Grinch of YouTube tech reviewers and it's delightful. I mean, I do whine and complain an awful lot, it has to be said. Yes, point taken. Ali says, that was a pretty good description of what prog rock is like. Took me some time to actually get into it. I'm mostly a Deep Purple, Iron Maiden, Dire Straits kind of guy. What do you think of Dire Straits though? Yeah, I mean, I quite like them. Not to the point where I'm actually actively seeking to listen to any of their albums or anything, but, you know, Money for Nothing and Tunnel of Love and all those classics, you know, stone cold bangers. It's the kind of music that's great to have on in the background while you're just passed out on a sun lounger in your garden, surrounded by empty bottles of beer. Those perfect summer moments. Doesn't really work with something like a Torture Rack or Wage War. Dean says, I'm sorry that I threw you with my comment about the family cat. I usually refer to animals as furry friends. Seriously, mate, don't apologise. 100% my fault. My brain was in full-on double entendre mode. And Dean continues with a tech question. Oh God, will we see any more phone launches in 2021? Well, Motorola is definitely going to be releasing a couple of G-series smartphones in December, joy. So stay tuned next week for some hot Moto G31 action. Hopefully I'll bring you the Moto G200 before the year's end as well. And I wouldn't put past good old Xiaomi, of course, or someone like them to launch a smartphone literally a couple of days before Christmas, just as I'm shutting shit down and cracking open a pint of whiskey. Vidwinkle says, sometimes the internet lies to us, love it, but you're on the internet for me. Does that mean you lie as well, Uncle Spurt? Only little white lies, Viddy. Like sometimes I'll tell you that those high heels really suit you when actually they make your calves look a little bit chunky. Not you personally, though obviously, Viddy, you look absolutely smashing in those high heels, mate. But you can rest assured my videos are on the straight and narrow, and you can tell that because I don't write real 100% actual truth, sincere, genuine, real world fucking review in the title. Craig says, despite pushing the 80s game chat slightly over the border into the 90s, my pick for the best game theme tune has always been Cannon Fodder on the Amiga. Yeah, I used to play that quite a bit on the PC, Cannon Fodder and Cannon Fodder 2. I remember picked them up for like a few quid each. Can't remember the theme tune though, I'll have to look that up. My favourite 90s game theme tune is definitely Doom and Quake or High up there. I used to play them so much that basically I just get them ingrained, buried in my brain for like all day long. And of course good old Zombies Ate My Neighbours as well, that is the best soundtrack of any friggin' game right back in that era. Etc. And Craig continues, I'm a Sony Xperia fan, currently on the 5, ready for the next chapter. I also have stubby little fingers, welcome to the club, pal, and prefer a compact flagship. But the 5 Mark II and the 5 Mark III are so expensive with not even a whiff of Black Friday deals, as we've already discussed. Is there an alternative to my Sony desires? You know, the problem is that Sony phones are just so unique, not just the design as well, it's like the full user experience, you know, the fact that you've got to basically rely on the camera's manual mode to sort of get the most out of it, you know, the unique gaming features and cinema features, even down to the fact that you've got a microSD memory card support and a headphone jack on a flagship smartphone, which is basically unheard of these days. And next up, Jimmy says, do you think we're going to get a Moto G10 Power anytime soon? Please don't ask for any more Motorola smartphones, Jimmy buddy. Thanks. Ethan says, hey Uncle Spurt, you forgot to mention the Moto G41, the G51 and the G71? There's fucking more? Seriously? I thought the G31 and the G200 were it. I mean, I don't know why I'm surprised. That's kind of like someone stamping on a crocodile's tail over and over again and then being surprised when they have their nutsack torn off by a crocodile. Yeah, no, I'm sure I'll get a press release about them eventually when they hit the UK, so more fun times ahead for me. David says, hi Chris, have you listened to Carcass's latest offering, Torn Arteries? Yes, I have. And you know what, considering that those guys have been going for what, 30, 40 years now, they could still fucking thrash, that's for damn sure. Although I'm not entirely sure how many of the original band members are still in place today. They've probably all been replaced by their fucking grandkids. Just looking it up, so apparently Jeff Walker, the main vocalist in Carcass, is now 52, which I thought he was even older than that, to be perfectly honest, but you know, at 52, if I can rock that hard, I will be very happy indeed. I mean, Christ, if I'm 52 and I can still pee while standing up, I'll be pretty damn happy. And then on the subject of Croatia, which we touched on last week, Marco says, great, Havohe pronunciation, good job Chris. I probably completely mauled it this time just to make up for it. And Zadar pronunciation needs some work, but hey, I could get what you said. Yeah, what is it? Zadar? No idea. You'll make a Croatian to be yet though. The main problem I have over there is trying to pronounce the beer that they sell in like every bar and restaurant, which is called this. It's even got a little thingy on the Z. I mean, what does that even do to it? It'd be difficult enough without that.
As the judges go. As the judges go. As the judges go.
I call bullshit on that. And next up, John Paul Graham says, wanted to watch this video on the train back from Edinburgh, but forgot my earbuds, nightmare. Wasn't sure if the rest of the passengers would have been too impressed. Came back with absolutely no whiskey whatsoever. Trip to Scotland and no takeaway whiskey, come on man. Next thing you're going to be telling me you went all that way and didn't gorge on deep fried pizza or have a knife fight with a random stranger. Probably a good idea to play it on the safe side and not just blast a bit of tech expert for the whole carriage to enjoy though. I mean, I remember actually last time I was on that train, some utter testicle was blaring Mrs. Brown's Boys from their phone. I would have given them a piece of my mind if I wasn't an abject fucking coward. Miguel says, so since we are talking about Netflix series, we probably were Cowboy Bebop, I think, which I've almost finished. I've got to admit, not liking the second half as much as the first half. First half was sort of reasonably enjoyable. Second half was just like, what now? Miguel says, are you watching Arcane? I think it's pretty good, and I'm someone too stupid or too hungover to play League of Legends. Oh, I mean, Jesus, yeah, no, I've tried and completely failed on a couple of different occasions to vaguely understand even what the hell is going on in League of Legends. Makes about as much sense as a David Lynch flick after like 12 pints of sherry. No, I have not seen Arcane. My watch list is just getting embarrassingly long now. I've got so much stuff to bloody belt through. Sonny says, can you make a video with the best phones with a rear fingerprint sensor, please? That is a remarkably niche video suggestion there, Sonny. And to be honest, I think I'd struggle to fill a full video because pretty much everything now is either the edge-mounted fingerprint sensors or it's in-display fingerprint sensors. Plus, I guess it kind of depends on your budget. Like the Pixel 4a, for instance, still a bit of a cracker. That's got the rear-mounted sensor. Moto Edge 20 Pro, I think, had the rear fingerprint that fucking thing. If you've got a bit more money to spend. Oh, bang out of time though, so better make this the last one. And of course, because this cutting-edge technology news show is always focusing on the here and now. Let's have one about 1980s video games. James says, Spectrum games I loved were Dizzy and Cauldron. Yeah, I remember playing a lot of Dizzy back in the day on my ZX Spectrum, my trusty ZX Spectrum, and I've got no idea why, because in retrospect, I fucking hated it. And the biggest irritation is the fact that Dizzy can only carry one item at a time, despite the fact there's dozens of the bloody things just randomly scattered across the landscape, and you'll need every single one of them at some point, guaranteed. I mean, fair enough, you know, you can't expect him to carry lots of stuff because he's an egg. He doesn't have a jacket with lots of pockets in it or anything like that. I mean, God knows where he even stuffs this one object, especially when half the time there's like a garden rake that's twice the size of him. But every single time you'd be guaranteed, you'd walk 25, 30 minutes in one direction, traversing this deadly landscape filled with, nasty pits and, killer seagulls and all this other shit. Get all the way to the end and there'd be a locked gate there. And of course, the key is all the way back where you bloody started. And did you pick up the key? No, because you thought you'd pick up the umbrella instead, just in case. So you go all the way back to where you started from, again, traversing the nasty seagulls that could kill you with one peck and all this kind of stuff. Drop the umbrella, pick up the key, go all the way back, unlock the gate, get through there, and then what do you encounter? Deadly acid rain, hooray! And of course, Dizzy was an absolute pussy. He was literally killed by absolutely everything. Step in a puddle, death. Brush up against a cactus, death. Accidentally nudged by a slightly aggressive looking hedgehog, f*** you, game over, start again. So yeah, even though I played a lot of the Dizzy games, I thought I played like Fantasy World and Treasure Island, all that stuff, and I played them to death. I don't think I ever completed one. I probably didn't even get halfway through any of the buggers. So, Oliver Twins, whatever you were called, frankly, do one. And that, unfortunately, is all the viewer comments we have time for this week because of my many rants. So big thanks to everyone who left their comments last week. Great fun reading through all those, as always. Please do leave your comments down below. We'll smash through as many of those as possible next week, where we'll be balls deep in December, which is absolutely terrifying. Speaking of next week, don't think I've got much in the calendar for it. Doesn't look like there's much going on. Picking up the Moto G31 on Tuesday, so expect a full unboxing of that hopefully on Wednesday. A couple of Christmas piss-ups as well, though one has already been cancelled thanks to good old COVID. How we love it. So no doubt it's going to be a load of Zoom quizzes, sitting around in your pants drinking sherry as usual. But anyway, stay tuned for lots of hot action. I might finally get my iPhone 13 mini review up next week as well, touch wood, if I've got time, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, in the meantime, thank you very bloody much for watching to this point. You're absolute mentalists as always. Please do plug, subscribe, and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech and 80s video games and a load of other pointless rambling stuff. And have yourselves a fantastic week. Did I already say that? I can't remember if I did or not. But if I didn't, do it anyway. Cheers, love you, bye.